Hello everyone, this is Manjula Devi P, working as Assistant Professor in GFGC Kanakpura. In this session, I would like to discuss about options, futures, forwards and warrants. What is the meaning of an option? We keep hearing this term option, futures, forwards, warrants in the derivatives market, and these have its own general meaning in common English as well. So, as the students of investment management, one should know what is the meaning of these, the technical meaning of these in investment management or in financial management for that matter. So, basically an option is a contract conveying the right but not the obligation to buy or sell specified financial instrument at a fixed price before or at a certain future date. Now, if I tell this big definition, you will not be able to grasp it, especially if you are seeing it as a for the first time. See, options means, for example, I will tell you, suppose say this is one product, for example, I have this as one product, okay. I am writing an option, okay. There are two parties for the option. One is the buyer of the option, the other one is the seller of the option. Seller is also called as the writer of the option. I am selling an option or I am writing an option saying that I am going to sell this for 10 rupees, okay, by 31st December 2020. Okay, I am writing an option. Anybody who wants to buy this for 10 rupees can come to me and get into this option. So, people who think, okay, fine, let's see this product might change its market value in future. So, let me see. So, they would come and buy my option, okay. For buying the option, they have to pay me a small amount of fees sort of thing, okay. So, I might have sold the option and say many people have bought this option, okay, many people have bought this. Now, on 31st December, okay, whoever have bought the option to buy this product, okay, would look into the market price of this commodity on 31st December. Suppose if this commodity is available for 12 rupees in the market, for example, what they will do, anyway they have an option to buy this for 10 rupees. So, they would come to me and they want to buy this product. So, now as a writer, it is my obligation that I have to sell this product to whoever has come. So, I have to make so many of such product, like I should have enough stock, and it is my obligation to sell this product to the buyers of the option, okay. Suppose if the product price, if this commodity's price on 31st December is say 9 rupees, okay, then whoever have bought the option of buying it for 10 rupees, they will not execute their option. It is not mandatory. It is, it is an option for them. If they want, they can execute it. If they don't want, they can leave it. It's not the obligation. It's right for them to either execute or leave it. They would not come and buy this because it's available in the market for 9 rupees. Why would they come and buy it from me for 10 rupees, isn't it? So, but as a writer of the option, I have an obligation to execute it, but as a buyer of the option, so they do not have obligation, but they have the right to execute the option. So, we have two parties, one is the buyer of the option and the other one is the seller of the option. The seller is also called as the writer of the option. So, here buyer of the option has the right to execute it, whereas the seller has the obligation to execute it, okay. Then a person who buys the option, okay, is called as he is in a long position. Technically we say he has a long position. The person who has written the option or who is selling the option is called as he has a short position. So if you are holding a long position, that means you have a right to execute it. If you are holding a short position, you have an obligation to execute it. So components of option, or I can also say types of option. The option can be call option or put option. Okay, the one which I explained earlier with this example was the example of call option, because the buyer of the option had the right to buy this commodity. Okay, he had a right to buy this commodity. He was the buyer of the option as well as the right to buy the commodity. Then such options are called as call option. But at the same time, the buyer of the option may have the right to sell, in the sense, suppose the seller of the option or the writer of the option has made an option that I am going to buy this commodity, I am going to buy this commodity for 100 rupees. I am writing an option that I am going to buy this commodity for 100 rupees. So people have bought this option. That means they are supposed to, they have the right to sell, because I have written an option to buy this for 100 rupees. Now in the market, on the day of execution, if this commodity is available in the market for say 120 rupees, okay, then the one who has bought this option to sell it to me will not execute it, because they can sell in the open market for 120. Why would they sell it to me for 100? As it's an option for them either to sell the commodity or not. But as a writer of an option, like I have written the option that I am going to buy this for 100 rupees. Now if the commodity's price in the market is say 80 rupees, okay. So if the buyer of the option was having in put option, so he would come and sell it to me. He has a right to sell because I have written the option to buy this for 100. So whatever the price in the market, say it was 80, now he has a right to sell to me at 100 rupees. So I have an obligation to buy this at 100 rupees. Okay. So then that is called as the put option. If the buyer of the option has the right to sell, then it is called as the put option, and the writer of the option or the seller of the option has the obligation to buy the underlying asset. Okay. So hope you got a clear idea about call option and put option. We have two parties, one is buyer of the option, the other one is the writer or seller of the option. If the buyer of the option has the right to buy, purchase the commodity, then it is called call option. If the buyer of the option has the right to sell a commodity, then it is called as the put option. Types of options. So the option could be in order to deal a stock or equity. It's called equity option. Suppose I have this many number of shares of this XYZ company and I am going to sell this for such and such an amount. Whoever wants to buy can get into the option. So if the underlying asset is a stock or an equity, then it is called as the equity option. Then if I am giving an index, stock index as the underlying asset, then it is stock index option. Or if the underlying asset is a currency, so I am saying I have say for $1 I am going to sell it for say 80 rupees. So I am getting into an option. So I am writing an option. So if the underlying asset is a currency, then it is called currency option. Or if the underlying asset is a commodity, so I was giving example of this product, okay, this is a commodity, then it is called as the commodity option. So it depends on what is the underlying asset you are basically having in the option, decides what is that option is. If your underlying asset is an equity, then it is equity option. If it is a stock index, it is a stock index option. If it is a currency, then it is called currency option. If it is a commodity, then it is called commodity option. So that was about option. Then when we talk about futures and forwards, even this is the most common term that we use in the derivative market. So a future contract is an agreement between the seller and the buyer that calls for the seller to deliver to the buyer a specified quantity, grade of an identified commodity at a fixed time in the future at a price agreed when the contract is first entered into. Again, sounds little technical, but the concept is quite simple. For example, say I am growing ragi. For example, I am an agriculturist and I grow ragi. Okay. So I have people coming to me and asking me to sell ragi, say for 2000 rupees per quintal. For example, 2000 rupees per quintal. So I am growing still. The ragi is not yet for harvest, but people have come and getting into the contract with me that they are interested in buying ragi for 2000 rupees. I would look into the present trend. I would see what is happening around, how many people have grown ragi, what was the ragi rate last year and all. If I find it is convincing, if I think it is convincing, then I would get into the contract with the people who are coming to me. So I would get into a contract to deliver ragi at the rate of 2000 per quintal. Okay. So I am deciding it today, but I am going to deliver say after 3 months once the ragi is ready for the harvest and once it is cut and cleaned and packed. Okay. So that is called as the forward contract, where the agreement is happened today, but the delivery of the goods will happen on a future date at the price agreed, which is today's price agreed. Whatever I have agreed today, I am going to deliver it on the future date. In the future date, the price could be anything. The price could have been increased to 2300, but still I have to deliver it at 2000. Or the price would have been only 1800, but still the person who is entered into contract with me have to buy it at 2000. Okay. So it's like you are locking the price and you are dealing it. So here in this case, it actually is a risk mitigating mechanism both for buyer as well as the seller. So their profit position or loss position, they are trying to put it in one band. Okay. So then that is the purpose of futures and forwards. Then what is the difference? Forwards could be like this for any commodity at any given point of time. It is like the customized agreements or contract between two individuals. But when it comes to futures, these are all standard contracts which is by an authority, usually a stock exchange. Stock exchange will leave out the currency futures or commodity futures, where it fixes that particular price which can be dealt on a future date, the price which is fixed at the current date. So futures are the standardized contracts, whereas forwards are the customized contracts between two individuals, and it is up to their convenience whatever the terms that they decide upon. But future, it is standard and it is fixed by the authority who is issuing it. Then what is the objective? Whether future or forward, what is the objective? First and foremost, hedging. As I said, to mitigate the risk. Okay. If I am the seller of the forward, or if I am the person who has to sell the commodity, then for me it's like the price cannot fall below 2000. Okay. If the price goes above 2000 in the market, definitely whatever the increased price would be my loss. But my loss could be only whatever that higher price and the price which I am actually dealing with. So the loss cannot be lesser than that. Okay, or the like I won't get into too much of loss. Again, if I am a buyer of the option, or I am sorry, of the forward contract or future contract. So for me also, Like I am hedging my risk in such a way that in the market, whatever the price, if the price is in the increasing trend, then for me it is good that I have locked the price already much before than the raise in the market price. Okay. So it helps in mitigating the risk both for buyer as well as the seller. So hedging. Then sometimes speculation also. It has a speculative motive, like you get into forward contract with somebody at some price, then with somebody else at some other price, then you just want to make a profit out of it. Like somebody gets into the contract to buy ragi from me for 2000 per quintal. The same person gets into the contract with somebody to sell ragi at 2500 to somebody. So he's just buying from me at 2000, selling to somebody at 2500 and making a profit of 500 in the due course of time, no matter whatever the market price is. So it can be used for the speculation motive as well. Then the types of future contracts, again, if the underlying asset is a commodity, then it is called commodity futures. Or if the underlying asset is any financial thing like interest rate, if we are deciding on the interest rate, if we are deciding on the stock index, if we are deciding on the currency price as the part of our contract, then that is called as the financial futures. Then we have warrants. What is a warrant? So here warrant is a long-term security issued by a company which provides the holder with the right to buy a fixed number of companies' ordinary shares at a fixed price during a specified period of time. So here it's like company is giving them the right, whoever is buying this warrant, company is giving them the right to buy the company's share at a specified price at a specified time. So usually the companies who wants immediate funds, but they are going to issue the shares in future, and people who wants to buy that company's shares, but right now it's not available, but in future they can become the shareholders at the price which is actually locked up today. So those are called as the warrants. The primary purpose of warrant is to increase the marketability of the new issue. Like before the actual shares are issued, they are issuing the share warrants. Whoever buys the share warrants has the right to buy the shares in future at that fixed price or at the fixed specified period of time with the price which is actually mentioned in the warrant. So in this session we discussed about three important types of derivatives. What is the meaning of option? What is the meaning of futures and forwards? And what is the meaning of a warrant? So they are called derivatives because their value depends on an underlying asset. So even in the call option or put option, so you are getting into this option because of there is an underlying asset. The asset could be a currency, the asset could be a commodity, the asset could be a stock index. So based on that you are deciding the price of this. That's why they are called as derivatives. So as I said, the underlying asset could be a share, could be a commodity, could be a currency, anything. So when it comes to option, it is a contract giving the right to the buyer to execute the contract and obligation for the writer or seller of the option. Again, they may get into the contract either to buy a commodity or sell a commodity. Then it becomes a call option and put option. Again, futures, forwards are also, these are the agreements where the transaction takes place in the future date at the price decided on the current date. So warrant, again, this is a right given by the company to buy the company's shares at a fixed price at a fixed specified period of time. So these are some of the references which you can go through to get the concept more clear, to study about in detail about options, futures, forwards and warrants. So in the next session we will discuss about how do we value these options and futures. Thank you very much. We will meet in the next session.